Welcome back to our mid-episode break, namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. This week, in honor of Sarah Michelle Gellar helming the new supernatural teen drama series Wolfpack on Paramount+, we're looking back at the time she helmed one of the best supernatural drama series in the 90s, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is an American supernatural drama that ran from 1997 to 2003 on the WB and UPN, starring Daphne from the Scooby-Doo movie as Buffy, the girl who stuck a foot up her at band camp in American Pie as Willow, Kevin Lynch from Criminal Minds as Xander, Kendall Casablancas from Veronica Mars as Cordelia, the Prime Minister from Little Britain as Giles, Booth from Bones as Angel, Chris from Family Guy as Oz, Brainiac 5 from Smallville as Spike, and Nona from The Adventures of Pete and Pete as Buffy's sister Dawn. The show is based off of the film the same name that we did a Namely 90s Minute on, continuing Buffy's story as she moves to a new town called Sunnydale, which happens to be on top of a hellmouth. She gets a new watcher named Giles to keep her training in her vampire slayer duties during her last 3 years of high school. She makes friends with some nerds, Willow and Xander, after being picked on by popular girl Cordelia Chase. Also, she falls in love with a tortured vampire with a soul, Angel, who stalks her like he's Edward in Twilight. After drowning and being resuscitated in the season 1 finale, there are technically 2 slayers, and the second one gets killed, calling Faith, played by True Calling, who ends up being an evil slayer turned by the evil mayor, but eventually gets her redemption in the final season. After they destroy the high school in the season 3 finale/graduation, Angel spins off to Los Angeles and Buffy goes to college. She falls in love with newcomer Riley, who's a part of a super soldier program on campus, and he leaves after having an identity crisis. Willow falls in love with a witch named Tara and becomes a witch herself. Xander falls in love with a demon named Anya. Giles feels lost because Buffy doesn't need him anymore, so he opens a magic shop. Buffy gets stuck with a little sister in season 5, born from magic. Her mom dies in season 6 in the most real depiction of real life loss on television until This Is Us. Finally, in season 7, Buffy faces the first evil, who sends proto-vampires after her out of the Hellmouth. She collects all the potential slayers together and unlocks their slayer potential in the final fight against the first, and destroys all of Sunnydale in the process. After season 7, there are official comics that continued the story for another 5 seasons, which I read all of, and finally has been rebooted through Boom Comics in a modern interpretation of the TV series similar to their Power Rangers line. And that's Buffy the Vampire Slayer in a Namely 90s Minute. More or less. Join us again next Tuesday for another Namely 90s Minute. Remember, you can always hear these a day early in full episodes of Namely 90s on all major podcasting platforms. And most of the small ones too. Please subscribe and do all the other YouTube things. Bell ringing, share like a scribes, that sort of stuff. And we'll catch you next time.